Hi, I'm Richie Brower, and I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Serve Cafe. I'm here today in beautiful Goldendale, Washington, to share a story about a church that is making a massive impact in this community, but not by themselves.
Been walking for a while. My feet are getting tired, my heart's a little heavy, but you keep me going.
I think we have a lot of pre-Adventists, if you want to call it that, out there. There's people that are interested. They're asking questions. What do you do? What's your church? You know, we've heard this about your church. What's, you know, they're more curious now. And so if they're starting to ask, then I got no doubt between that, what we're doing here, and our school in a small community like this, that's all going to be a full circle here eventually.
I have 3 adult sons that are all disabled, and I decided that I really wanted to live in the country because I was getting very overwhelmed by the city. 2 of my sons have brain injuries, and it was really difficult for them to navigate the noise and a lot of the lights and things like that. Something that I'd been praying about, and in a week's time, I found this property and had it paid for, as far as like my down payment. And then I ended up selling my house, and then I had enough to pay off the house, pay off the property, and then pay off, or to put a well in. So at that point, we were kind of stuck. There was like nothing that we could really do to go beyond besides living very primitive. So we were living in sheds that had no insulation, and it was really cold. And we did that for 10 years. And we were hauling water around in buckets and until we actually got our well in 2020. A childhood friend of mine had come up to visit us because he knew that we were living off grid and thought that there was a little more to my story. So when he came up, he looked at the conditions we were living and said, "This is not okay." Code enforcement showed up and said, "You need to stop building and you need permits and everything." And I was horrified because I knew that with my income, it would have taken me 10 years. Then I found the Serve One More flyer over at the grist mill, which is a little health food store in town here. And I said, "Oh, it's put on by the Seventh-day Adventists." Well, we're already going there, so I had asked about it because I wanted to see if I could get some overhead help with the insulation.
And this program gave me the inspiration to say, okay, let's see if these people will help us and give Jesus an opportunity to make this happen. And whoa, he did.
For a meeting about a week later and said, we had asked for some money to see if we could get a grant to help you get all of your permits and get everything that you needed so that you could have your home. And I told Janelle, I was crying, and she said, "Tell me what you're feeling." And I said, "I just wanted help with insulation." Because, again, I was still looking for a way out of the church. And how am I going to leave when these people love me and they embrace me and they embrace my kids and they want to help me have a home after I haven't even had a home in 10 years, you know what I mean?
Serve One More has really inspired me to believe so much more in what a family and Jesus is all about in life and how much he really cares about other people and us. And I believe that Jesus has a big part in this whole thing.
It was very moving and very touching, and it really brought me back into a loving relationship with God. And I read my Bible again every day, and Janelle and I, we talk on the phone, and I have prayer sisters, and we do all those things, and I feel like I have a family again.
Been walking for a while, mile after mile, my soul's a little weary, but you keep me going, you keep me going. You said it'd be a narrow road, you said it'd be a narrow road, so why am I surprised when it seems I'm on my own? You said it'd be a narrow road, this world will never be my home.
From Goldendale, Washington, I'm Richie Brower, and this is Serve Cafe.
I'd never be alone. Oh, I'd never be alone.